This video training series is courtesy of the County of San Diego Office of Emergency Services.
Every emergency call, every emergency run, every life saved starts with you, the first responder.
But what do you do when confronted with evacuees with needs who may pose a challenge to your typical training methods?
The following video is one of a series of 8. It's designed to educate you on the various visual cues, do's and don'ts, proper behaviors, mannerisms, and sensitivities of the blind and low vision population of San Diego County.
Our hope is that you learn as much as you can so that when lives are depending on quick thinking and fast maneuvering, you have the knowledge and training to make the best decision possible.
Hi, I'm Joe Levine with Heartland Fire Rescue.
I'm Casey Markowski. I'm an orientation and mobility specialist at the San Diego Center for the Blind.
Casey, what are some common myths with people who are blind or visually impaired?
Well, we want to first define the word blind. Blind can encompass anyone from someone with low vision to someone who's completely blind with no vision at all. That being said, you want to treat every person who has a visual impairment as if they're totally blind. Common myths people hear about is that they wear sunglasses. And actually, that's not true. Only a few people prefer to wear sunglasses. Another common myth is that when you are visually impaired, your hearing is improved. And that's actually a myth. Your hearing is not more improved. When you lose your vision, you do rely more on auditory clues around you to help orient yourself. But it doesn't give you better hearing.
Fire department, we have an emergency.
Casey, what sort of protocol should someone follow when encountering someone who's blind?
Well, you would want to treat a person who is visually impaired just like you would treat anyone else. Just because they have a vision loss doesn't mean they are helpless. So you should always respect their personal space.
Hi, we've got an emergency in the building. We need to evacuate.
I can't stay here. I mean, is that bad?
So you always want to state your name and your title and make sure you're facing them when you're talking to them. You also want to state the nature of the emergency and ask how you can help them. And ask permission before touching them. If you need to touch them, let them know where you're going to touch them and if you need to change positions. This could really startle them if you just grab them and begin to guide them.
Casey, is there any specific equipment that we should bring with us during evacuation?
Yes, there are. You want to make sure they have any type of mobility device that they are currently using with them. For example, the long cane is a type of mobility device that helps them get around safely. You'll also want to bring with them a walker or a support cane if they have it. The guide dog is also a type of mobility device. So if the guide dog's present, you want to keep the guide dog with the person as much as possible. By not having a mobility device present, you're essentially trapping them in one location.
Fire department, anyone home? We have an emergency in the building. We have to evacuate. Hi, we have an emergency in the building. We need to evacuate.
Okay, this is my guide dog, and we're gonna need some help.
Are there any such protocols when dealing with a guide dog?
Yes, there are. In an emergency, if you need to take the dog for any reason, make sure you ask permission of the handler.
Is it okay if I take the dog?
Yes, probably that's better.
When you take the guide dog, be sure to hold the leash and not the harness so that the dog is relaxed and knows to follow you and that they are not working.
Casey, will you speak a little more on walking with them or helping to guide?
Well, when guiding a person who is visually impaired, you need to be very specific about the environment.
There we go. We're going to go straight ahead about 30 feet.
Okay.
And we're going to turn left.
Okay.
For example, you don't want to use terms like, oh, it's up ahead or it's over there. They can't see where over there is.
Here's our left turn.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to go through the elevator lobby.
Okay.
About another 10 feet, we're going to go to the right.
Okay.
For example, if you're looking for a door, you want to let them know it's 10 feet ahead. When guiding a person, you also want to point out what obstacles are coming up, such as a chair or a table. You want to let them know, is the chair facing them? Is it facing away from them? Does the chair have arms? And is there a table in front of the chair? Always use human guide techniques when guiding a person who is visually impaired.
Okay.
Casey, what is the human guide technique and what are the steps?
So the human guide technique is a proper way to guide someone who has a visual impairment so that you keep your space and they keep theirs. The steps to human guide technique are simple. You just offer your arm and they'll hold right above your elbow.
You want my arm?
Yes, please.
Okay, here we go.
This gives them good stability when walking and following you. Also, you want to make sure you're not grabbing their hand to guide them. By grabbing their hand and trying to guide them, they become very disoriented. By offering your arm, this gives them much more stability. Also, they will remain one step behind you so as not to run into your feet. When encountering a narrow area, you want to bring your arm behind your back so that the person knows to follow behind you. When you're encountering doors, you want to let them know, is the door coming towards you or away from you? Is the door on the right or on the left? This can be important information so that they don't run into the door. Also, when approaching stairs, to let them know if there's a handrail next to them that they can grab onto. Let them know whether you're going up or down when you're at the top of the stairs and when you've reached the bottom. Descriptive language is very important to help them orient themselves to their environment, especially in a scary situation.
It's okay. It's going to be okay.
When there's a guide dog present, you want to make sure you are holding the opposite side of the guide dog when you're doing human guide. Always try to keep the dog with the person who has a visual impairment so that they are not separated. In some emergency situations, you may be required to relocate a person. In that case, make sure the blind person is able to contact someone.
Casey, I want to thank you for all this useful information. It is going to be very greatly used for all first responders.
Well, I really appreciate you guys doing this, and we appreciate all you do. And I hope this helps you guys understand people with visual impairments a little better and how you can help them.
This concludes the blind and low vision training video for first responders.
For more information, please contact the San Diego Center for the Blind at 619-583-1542.
I'm Tony Meacham, San Diego County Fire Chief.
I'm Shelley Zimmerman, Chief of Police of the San Diego Police Department. Thank you for watching.